In this lesson, we're going to relate repeating fractions and decimals. So a repeating decimal doesn't ever end. They continue on forever, and we have two different ways that we write them. We could write them with the decimal with 3 dots after the numbers that repeat, or we can write them with a bar over the numbers that repeat. We want to convert the fraction 1/3 to a decimal. This is going to be a repeating decimal, and I'm going to show you using long division why it is repeating. So remember, 1/3 as a fraction is the same as dividing 1 by 3. So I've set it up as a long division problem right here. Now 3 does not fit into 1, so I've just written 1 with some zeros after the decimal so that we can look at all the remainders that are left over here. So as I said, 3 does not fit into 1 any times. Now we're going to look at how many times does 3 fit into 10. 3 fits into 10 3 times, which would be 9. Now we have 10 subtract 9 to leave 1 left over, and we'll bring down the zeros. Again, we want to say how many times does 3 fit into 10. 3 times, which would be 9. Again, we'll subtract to have 1 remainder, bring down the zeros. How many times does 3 fit into 10? 3 times, which is 9, and if we subtract, we would have 1 left over, bring down the 0. As you can see, I could go on and on like this, and I'm always going to have that 1 left over. So these 3's would repeat forever. So 1/3 as a decimal is 0.3 repeating. I want to convert the fraction 5/9 to a decimal. So ninths are unique in the repeating decimals because whatever the number is as the numerator on top of the 9 is the number that repeats for the decimal. So for example, 5/9, the 5 is the numerator, so the 5 is the number that repeats as the decimal. Remember, you can also write it as a repeating decimal like this, with the 3 dots that show it continue on forever. We want to convert 0.6 repeating to a fraction. If you remember from the previous example, when there's one number that repeats, that would be the numerator, and the denominator of the fraction would be a 9. So this would be equivalent to 6/9. But we can simplify 6/9 as 2/3. So 0.6 repeating as a fraction is 2/3. We want to convert 0.8 repeating to a fraction. So there's a single number repeating, so that means that will be the numerator with a denominator of 9. And 8/9 is in simplest form, so 8/9 is the fraction equivalent of 0.8 repeating.